All right. So Electronic Arts is releasing one bad game after the other. They were hoping for a really good finish this year, but they released Dragon Age the Veilguard. And gee, I wonder why they didn't finish that good.
So I'm non-binary.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Well, it wasn't just because of Dragon Age. It was actually also because of EA Sports, the FC25 that were launching, and people were really upset about that game. And then we got the Dragon Age Veilguard, which the critics gave 82. I mean, yeah, they're all bought because that they just had to. If any critic out there would give it below 7, I think they would never dare to give it a low number because they were afraid for a backlash, because if they gave it anything else than an 8, they would be called homophobic and transphobic and all that kind of nonsense. Most likely it's been the same thing going on for years now, so it's nothing new. As you can see, the users are pretty unanimous here, and out of 7,634 user ratings we have 3.9, and it's 62% gives it a negative review. If we take a look here, so they had only a peak of 90,000 players at most. And yes, it's a single player game. There will be no replay value. There will be no updates, no DLCs, none whatsoever. They just made a game, realized that it flopped, and just left it. They don't want anything to do with it anymore because they're done with it. Just like Corinne Boucher that leaves Bioware because she said she had an offer she couldn't turn down. Gee, I'm going to be really interested to see what kind of offer that would be better than working for Bioware. Corinne Boucher has confirmed her departure from Bioware, revealing that it was voluntarily decision after receiving an offer outside of the developer. And she also has the audacity to add, I did what I set out to do at Bioware. Yeah, to trash the place and leave it in flames and let the rest of them pick up the pieces after you. That is to come in and help right the ship. The ship is standing right up now and sinking down, just like the Titanic. I love Dragon Age and Bioware, so the chance to return the game to a proper quality single-player RPG was a privilege of a lifetime. Oh, I mean, how delusional can a person be? It was hard fought, and games with such tumultuous dev cycles rarely end up shipping, and even more rarely turn out great. We, as a team, did it, and it was hard, and it took a toll on me. Bioware still had a lot of work to do culturally, but I do believe they are on the right footing now. They are surely not on the right footing. Well, the only foot I think were involved here was the foot that Bioware gave her when they kicked her out.
I just said, and I'm going to use they instead of she from now on.
You ugly.
Then we got this game, Unknown 9 Awakening, arrived to 200 Steam players. This game cost, and sit down now, they put $160 million into this game. It was not only a game, they tried to do a whole franchise of this game, like a new Star Wars. They would have card games, and they would have toys, and they would have one thing after the other. They just put everything on the table and said, now we're going to put all this money into this, and just, instead of just doing a very, very simple, good game and just see how the player base react to it. It got a 5 from IGN. Just think about IGN giving it a 5. I mean, how bad must it be to give a 5 from IGN here? Well, take a look at how it looks. It's ridiculous. Wow. And what even is? Oh. Oh my God. How could they actually just green light this garbage? Huh? How could they put it out? I mean, were they actually sitting there being proud of this and said that, man, this is the best job we have ever done? Wow. Oh. Yeah, we don't need to watch any more of that. So, I mean, this is what most of the gaming industry has come down to. I mean, they just release one poor game after the other and they put hundreds of millions of dollars into it. This should actually be seen as a crime. I think these developers should be put up on an audit and have to explain how they used all of those money, because as an investor, I would be so upset. But I guess just time will tell how the games will be developed in the future. I'm just so happy that we got developers like Grinding Gear Games that made Path of Exile 2. I have a lot of fun in that game.
There we go. You know, just like I sometimes did back in the days with my sled, I just fly over the enemy and carpet bomb the shit out of everything, you know. Almost the same thing here with the mercenary. It brings back old memories. Sometimes I just gotta do some raids with my sled and my reindeers, you know. Rudolph and all those. Especially Rudolph, I mount a machine gun on him. He's in front, you know, so he can just do dives, just spread the lead all over the enemy, you know.
Rapid fire!
These are developers that just do what they love. They don't care about any outside political statements or nonsense like that. It's just like Peter Jackson and Franz Waltz during the time where they were making Lord of the Rings movies. They didn't want to put anything about their political statements into the movies at all, because they wanted to stay true to Tolkien, and as much as they could, at least.
Have some kind of mechanism, in a sense, so that you could make sure that you were true to Tolkien?
Well, we didn't want to put any of our own, certainly in terms of the thematic material, we didn't want to put any of our own baggage. I mean, we had no interest in putting our messages into this movie, but we thought that we should honor Tolkien by putting his messages into it. And we thought he cared about things. The countryside and the rise of evil, and he cared passionately about certain issues, and we thought what we should do to honor him is to make sure that what he cared about ends up in the movie. That's what we tried to do.
They have a cave troll.
Even though I don't agree with some changes in the movies, but at least there weren't any political statements and woke garbage that it threw into it, and that's what we're seeing in these games nowadays. Because I believe that most of the people that work on these kind of games are hired and put there because of the DEI nonsense. These kind of people, they wouldn't even have the job if it weren't for any stupid reason, like what kind of gender they are or what kind of skin color they have. I think it should be illegal, like Ubisoft did. I think they were the one who put out a... Here we can actually see the legal analyst asserts that Ubisoft is breaking the law with its mentorship program that excludes men. And it's just ridiculous. I mean, everything should be based on merits and how good you are at your work. I mean, people can't help what gender they are born as. If they're female or male, it shouldn't matter. It should only matter how well they perform at the job. Also, I do understand that you need to have social abilities. You should, of course, not be an asshole at all. So, of course, that is also a part in the merits that is very important. When you're working with other people, you need to actually be a very humble person and a people's person. It helps a lot. On the official Ubisoft website, the company promotes its Develop at Ubisoft program, stating, "At Ubisoft, we want to build the most creative, diverse, and inclusive teams." And that's exactly what Develop at Ubisoft is all about, empowering and supporting underrepresented genders. It then clearly states, the program provides mentorship opportunities for women and non-binary individuals, students or fresh graduates with less than 2 years of experience, interested in video games to develop their skill set in game design and programming. We want to empower you to learn, grow, and become the very best developer that you can be. And in the section labeled eligible criteria, the first bullet point states that to be eligible, you must identify as a woman or a non-binary individual. So Esquire reacted to this mentorship program and its promotion on Ubisoft LinkedIn account during a recent live stream on his Legal Mindset YouTube channel, where he said, "This is illegal." He also said a special mentorship program. This is the same thing that Disney is currently being sued for. So, yeah, I mean, Ubisoft is also going down the drain. I mean, what's up with these companies? They are actually just trying to destroy themselves over and over again. And they can't seem to understand why they are actually not doing that well anymore.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently. That's okay. Things are going to be okay.
If you go woke, you will go broke. And that's the thing that's been repeated over and over again. And they don't seem to learn. But ever since Trump got elected, all the companies just threw out the DEI through the window. They just had to play along with these stupid games to get different kind of benefits and tax cuts and everything for the companies. But now they are done with it. They are going to start hiring people just based on pure merits and how talented someone is. They won't hire because of skin color and what gender you are or whatever belief you are. All that matters really is that you're good at your job and you got social antennas, that you're a good people person and you treat people with respect. That's what everything comes down to. Within my line of work, it's very important that you know what you're doing, because I work within a field out on the oil rigs on the North Sea. If you don't know what you're doing, you could die. It's a very dangerous place to work, and we don't really care about what gender or skin color or belief someone has out there, as long as they are a people's person and they actually do a great job and they have a very positive view. People that are very negative and talk negative about most things, they are not the kind of people we want to work with. However, there is a difference in being a very negative person. You know, those kind of people that walks into a room and just pushes down all that dark cloud all over the rest of the people. Makes you feel like, oh man, I just want to get out of this place. I wouldn't want to be around that person, compared to being a person that puts out criticism. And that's just one other thing that Ubisoft and those other kind of developers had a problem with. They couldn't handle any kind of criticism, even the criticism that we do call positive criticism. You might wonder, positive criticism, what is that? I mean, criticism is only negative. No, positive criticism is something that can make you grow as a person and help you be better as a person. So positive criticism, that wasn't allowed in Ubisoft. They called it toxic positivity. And if you have to work in that kind of environment where you sit at a meeting and there is some people in the meeting room that can't handle any criticism at all, and makes it into a problem which revolves around them all the time.
No! No! Why?
Instead of actually seeing it as a professional and not taking it personal, then nothing can be better. So there's really no wonder why these games actually turned out that bad, because even if there were people in those meeting rooms that didn't agree with many of the things in the game, they weren't allowed to actually ventilate those kind of ideas or put out the criticism and say that, well, maybe we shouldn't put all this woke stuff in the game because we've seen it before. And those other games didn't turn out well. They weren't well received at all. So maybe we shouldn't do that here. Or maybe we should tone it down. Or maybe we should give the player a option that they can disagree with us in the game, just like we had in Mass Effect games.
Rumors back home say you're tracking a rogue Spectre named Saren. Do you have any comment on that?
I've had enough of your snide insinuations.
The people that might have those kind of suggestions, they weren't allowed to have those suggestions because they were called toxic. Just another word from a small minority group that is ridiculous. It's just a sign of how they can't handle any other kind of beliefs or views, or can't handle any criticism at all.
Hey! Oh, Jesus Christ! I'm so pissed off!
So that's just sad. I mean, that's just the thing about these companies. They aren't even allowed to criticize anything within the company. So, of course, the game is going to turn into a failure, because the only people that will actually have a voice are the people that are the most easily offended. And most likely and most often, those people are the worst people on the job. They've never had anyone that told them that they should maybe stop what they're doing, or they should think of doing it in another way that might be better. But I can also understand if you have an idea or something that you worked on for a very long time, and you sit there and you present it, and there's someone else that doesn't agree with you, you might take it personal because you put a lot of love and passion into the work. But you need to actually see the broader picture. I mean, you're trying to make a game that at the end of the day has to bring in a certain amount of money. You have to respect the fact that you've been given 100 to 150, or in the other game here, $160 million to make a game. You just need to put your own feelings aside, your own political agendas and statements and social structures and woke agendas and all that crap aside. It shouldn't be a factor at all.
What the hell is even that? Get everybody out of my...
So what do you think? Do you think the gaming years ahead is going to turn out to be better? And what do you hope to see in the future? Let me know in the comments, and I wish you all a very, very good day. All right.